I've been naughty. I was just at the Canadian Tire and they're still playing the exact same easy listening music album from when I worked there 16 years ago. Must be driving them nuts because it drove me nuts. So how I hang artwork for a gallery depends entirely on how they hang it. Galleries that have one piece of wood on the ceiling and then wires come hang down, you usually want to use like these. I used to use these all the time, but they're really hard to like find sometimes. This comes in a pack of 3, which is kind of annoying because you need one on each side. And if it's like a canvas, I usually use the screw eyes. So I have one on each side, and then you can feed a wire through there. So that's for like places that use slat wall or nails to hang art. So for like frames and stuff, instead of using these all the time because it's harder to get these, I've actually just started using tiny screws into the back of the frame most of the way, and then tie the wire under the head and then screw it in all the way to tighten it. And then that's pretty good. Like these are like, you know, tiny screws are really easy to locate and they come in big packages. And as long as you like put a nice piece of masking tape or something over it so that it doesn't scratch anything that you lean your painting against, which I'd have to do anyway because this is metal as well, so I would do the same thing, it shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, you don't care, but it's a process, you know? Oh, this week is messy because I have 2 commissions taking up my time, and I have 2 separate drop-off days and 1 day with no power in the house, so I can't do anything. Wacky week. Today's a drop-off day, and I have my Muji gift of paintings. And I ran out of envelopes, so I made a painting sandwich here. I'm kind of tempted to buy from Uline a bunch of envelopes, but that would be like 100 of these size envelopes, and that just seems like a lot. It seemed like too many envelopes. I keep printing things expecting stuff to work, but there's an issue where the yellow toner falls out everywhere, and it's only actually printing here and here, so like 2 strips. I really want one of those printers that all the YouTube artists have, because I don't have a big enough audience that if I bought a really, really nice printer, it would just sit and then it would clog up and then it would be ruined. So like, I don't really want to ruin a printer. But anyway, so printing zines, it breaks my head because of the way that I have to print them. So they have to be able to turn properly. Look at all this like splotch of yellow. So what I usually end up doing to make it easier for myself is I make a tiny fake one, fold a bunch of papers, and then write, you know, this is the title page, and then this is the first one, and then the second one, and then I will take it apart and then be like, okay, well this is what the first printed page has to look like, and then I flip it over, and so it's gonna have me on the back, and that's what this looks like. And then the second page has just 1 on one side, and the other side should have 2 and 3 on it. Wait, no. 2 and 31 on it. Ooh, 2:31. It could be so much better. If I thought that I had somewhere to sell stuff since COVID has destroyed everything, I was thinking of trying a different online printer. Otherwise, like, I would greatly prefer to find something local. I just don't know how to find anything local. So if you live in like Metro Vancouver and know of a place, seriously, that actually does stuff like this, not like brochures, commercial shit. Like, I want to find a place that is actually experienced with making art booklets, because online stuff is great, but I would rather just wander over and pick something up. I think I'm just like grumpy in general because our rainy season just started. They rescheduled our power outage day to tomorrow, and I have no idea what we're gonna do. Like, we can't do any like nice outdoor activities, and there aren't any indoor activities. I like this one. Edited a vlog for this week, and then I decided that it was too boring. I can't upload this. Suddenly really concerned about analytics and stuff, and I don't want to just upload things for the sake of uploading things, and I don't have like the energy for YouTube. It's Wednesday. Power's still on. I think I should put a little boat next to this guy because it kind of looks like a whale coming out of the water. Still kind of waiting for power to go out. It's so dark. Okay, they're still doing landscaping out here. I'm going to try to work on this dog picture before I lose all my light. And I kind of made things a little bit difficult for myself because to match a previous painting, I flipped the position of the dog so that they kind of like can face each other or face away from each other, whatever they want to do, instead of having them both face in the same direction because it's more balanced this way, I guess. I kind of made it harder for myself because now I have to make sure that I don't make the coloring backwards. I kind of wanted to sleep in, but I'm surprised that they haven't turned the power off yet because they're out there. 10 a.m. Here's some progress. Coffee unsipped. Power still on. Patsy Cline booming from downstairs. I was really looking forward to like complete silence today. I was I was just fixing a thing and it's dark now. It looks not too bad on the screen, but it's actually quite dark in person. It's really hard to fix watercolor mistakes, but it's not impossible. It depends on your lifting, but if you're doing it right away, it's easier to lift. And I'm not getting like too much damage if I'm rubbing, because you know sometimes when you have watercolor paper and you clean up something and then it takes the sizing out, and then when you put down new color on top of it, it just bleeds everywhere and you can't ever really like paint anything good on top of it. I'm getting pretty decent results from this. So I had a comment that's saying that they couldn't control the bleeding on this paper, but I'm thinking it's a different paper because I haven't had any issues with like bleeding and I get perfectly hard edges here, so I'm like not really seeing what that issue is. But yeah, so yeah, on one hand, working with more exciting paper is harder to fix mistakes, but it's not impossible to fix mistakes, and the paper gets less torn up, so it kind of evens out. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. I just realized something that you don't care about. But I can still hear the booming music from downstairs. That's not fair. They have a battery-powered boombox downstairs. I have to listen to cool island versions of Patsy Cline all day anyway. Can you hear that? It's the booming of the bass that makes us crazy, because they don't listen to particularly varied music. It's very like thump, 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 thump for like hours, and I cannot stand it. They're singing! You don't mind this. You're okay with this. My tree is going through the change. It looks kind of messed up because of our horrible aphid year, but he's so beautiful in the fall. I look forward to it every year. The ghost is hunting. You have to go this way, right? Spooky phasmo. Phasmo. I can only can say that word. Oh, spooky. Hello, wait. Now it's quiet, huh, baby? La la la. Now we have to take this one to another gallery. A lot going on this week. Today, Friday. I keep forgetting it's chore day. Dang it. Okay. Other than chores, today I've been doing some market research because I really want to work on my YouTube channel. I don't really want to be a YouTuber, but it is a tool to get people to know that my art exists, and considering the amount of time YouTube videos take, I feel like I should actually like try to get more views in some way. I went to a bunch of art YouTubers channels and just did a little bit of research as to what their top 3 most watched or viewed videos were. For example, like Bailey is like how to draw hair, 3-marker challenge, and 3D pen DIY sketchbooks. But I've noticed that a lot of her videos are centered around Copic markers, so I feel like Bailey's niche really is kind of like Copic markers. And they're all kind of different in that sense, because we're also supposed to go through all their old videos to see, because the old videos, in some cases, will be smaller views, and then it will suddenly become higher views. But with big artists like Bailey and Chloe Rose, I found that to be really difficult because people tend to go back and watch the old ones, so I think it skews the numbers a lot. Judging from the type of videos that people are willing to watch from like Jazza and Chloe Rose and Bailey right now, I feel like it's skewed by the fact that people will watch literally anything they make at a certain point. So I don't think that it's a good tactic to copy what they're doing, because they can do anything. Like Chloe Rose is very much art hacks and supply boxes. Watercolor Misfit was more like tutorial based, especially controlling watercolor, and I'm wondering if I could make a video like that, even though I feel like controlling watercolor is everyone's biggest fear of watercolor, but it's like irrational fear. So I don't know if I should do a video like that, I don't know. Rafi's videos, so his are very much tips for full-time artists. So like everyone kind of has a different thing. I have no idea what Zeke's Lunchbox is. She doesn't really even have that many videos, so it's kind of really surprising. Like her traffic must come from somewhere completely off of YouTube. Maybe it's just thumbnails, because she has like the most eye-catching thumbnails, so maybe that's it. There's like Art Prof, which is mostly artist professor critiques this, artist professor does this, artist professor does this, tutorials. And I think that their thing is the fact that they have an air of authority about them, so people trust what they're saying. And so I was mostly just like collecting things that people were focusing on, niching up, you know? A lot of them were using terminology like for beginners, which makes sense. People who are starting in art are more likely to specifically look for beginner stage stuff. The best keywords to use in SEO are going to be sentences. Very, very specific, because if I'm competing with art video, that's going to be millions of videos. And I have to somehow be the best in that category. Whereas if I do, for example, how to paint with Photoshop, how many people are going to have the tag how to paint with Photoshop? Maybe just hundreds. So that means, you know, compared to 1 million people or 100 people, you want to be able to minimize the number of people that you're competing with. This was literally just me starting to type things in the search box and just seeing what the autofill is. So like art challenges TikTok, art challenges to do. And I also have a list of ones that are specifically mine that people have searched. Like the first one is Soapstone, which I think is funny because I only have like 2 videos using that tag. So that's kind of just what I've been doing. It's just researching stuff. I don't know if I'm actually learning anything though, other than the fact that it is giving me more tag suggestions, I guess, and some more guidance as to what to do. For me specifically, I feel like my most popular videos were art supply specific. Like I said, like the Soapstone, sketchbook flips. And so yeah, I heard that like vlogs and inspirational stuff is bad to start your channel with. Like those are the things that I want to do, but I hear you should save vlogs and stuff for when you already have a large channel. So yeah, let me know if there are specific things that I haven't done that you actually kind of want to see, just in case that you're waiting for something. For example, I need to figure out how to use white watercolor because I tried using it this morning to fix something and it didn't work, but I thought it was going to work. But it didn't work. So that's something that I'm personally interested in. Let me know if you are interested in that. Ah. I'm laughing because they packed a whole thing in here that I had to carry.
Oh no.
It's heavy. This is like all the weight that I had to carry 2 vlogs. 23 pounds. They threw that in there.
Damn.
Oh my god. These are cool. Craft. Now I'm ready. Ready for anything. You're too fat for this. Relatable. Come here, Diddy. Look at you. Buzz.